Hello Year 7, this is an example of the work that you're going to be completing today. It's an Ndebele pattern collage used by cutting out shapes from 3 different coloured papers and collaging them into your sketchbook in the Ndebele pattern style. We'd like you to prepare for this work today by getting the following equipment: your sketchbook with Ndebele shapes, some scissors, 3 coloured strips of sugar paper and a glue stick, and you'll also need a pencil. So for the planning stage of this piece of work, we'd like you to look at your sketchbook pages with the Ndebele shapes on and use the resources that are available in the classroom, and you will cut out Ndebele shapes from these strips of sugar paper. You can do this by folding the strips into halves, quarters or eighths, drawing one of the Ndebele shapes onto the piece of paper and then cutting it out as I'm showing you in this example. We'd like you to create a number of shapes before you start to arrange your patterns, so that'll give you a lot of shapes to kind of play around with and see what's possible. So use all of the strips to create quite a few shapes from the designs in your sketchbook. So I hope you've spotted that the shape that I've cut from the paper strips is that one on my sketchbook page. That is a green shape on the sketchbook page, so you can change the colours, that doesn't matter. And this one here is that triangular shape with the purple sort of like semicircle cut out of it. So you can see now I've speeded up the video and I'll work my way through different shapes on the paper, cutting them out, so I've got plenty of shapes to create my designs with. You can always continue to cut out shapes later if you feel that you need them, but here you can see in this image how I've arranged them just above my sketchbook all together so that I can then quickly sort of take them and get the ones that I want to use. They're all to hand and I can quickly create some designs like what I'm doing here. Now what I've just done there is I've quickly created a design, but then I've moved the pieces out again. I'm going to try a new design as well. So at this stage, when we're planning the image, it is important that we're trying a few things out, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, see what we like, see what kind of feels right. You can do this quite quickly before kind of committing to a final design. And I'm just playing around with those shapes, seeing what I think works. We would like you to create the design in this kind of banner style, which runs from top to the bottom of the page down the middle, and that just means that you can complete a design quite quickly, and then if you've got time left in the lesson you can start working either side of that banner down the middle of the page, creating a symmetrical design. So we've spent a long time planning and now's time for the rendering. We're going to be doing the rendering by using a glue stick to stick down the coloured shapes in the arrangement that we've decided. So once you have got your idea together, you know where you want your pieces, you can start gluing them down, and you can always change your mind a little bit or add other extra pieces in towards the end as you're going along. And if you watch this video very closely, you'll see how I needed to cut a few extra shapes as my design changed. Now just here I'm just about to make a mistake. I've glued that shape on a little bit early. I realised what I've done, and because I responded quite quick I was able to just carefully peel that off, and I'm just putting down this shape here which should have gone down first. So just look at the technique that I'm using with the glue stick. I'm just picking up the pieces and just popping them on top, and then just like tapping them to cover the surface, carefully peeling them off before sticking them down. So when you're working with the slightly smaller shapes, that's a good way of working, so that you're fully in control of it. If you try and just glue with them on the table, running the glue stick over the top, it might start to tear them. So I gently just pop them on top of the glue stick, give it a little bit of a tap, peel it off, and they should stick down. Now those little circles that I've just glued down, those little red dots, they are quite small and they were quite tricky, so they're really good if you're someone who's confident at cutting out and confident with your collaging skills to really push yourself with those finer details. However, if you're not quite as confident, it is okay. You can use big chunky shapes that you see in the Ndebele patterns. You don't have to go as small as this. You can be quite bold with some simpler shapes, and you'll still get some really good designs. So we've got a completed collage, but just to improve it, with some fine line pens we can edge the shapes. And the Ndebele patterns do have quite a lot of black outlines, and you can vary the thickness. You might want to do thicker lines than what I've got here. I'm just showing you a close-up there of me going around the shapes. The pen does go around the shapes quite easily because they're just raised up above the surface, but do take care over it because it can be quite easy to slip sometimes. And that's the completed design. Remember, it's important that your design uses shapes from the Ndebele patterns, although you can combine many different ones, so you'll end up with something that could look very different from the example here. Hopefully there'll be lots of different ones within the classroom. Good luck with it. We hope you enjoy it. Take your time and give it your best effort.